TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin. Evan T. Mack is out, not saving lives. Well, maybe saving lives. Definitely tweet him at Evan T. Mack and show him some love for sure. That's not going to stop us from having an amazing show, though. She is a 15-year veteran, two-time Shine champion, former NXT superstar, the baddest bee in the building. Please welcome Ivelisse. What's up?
What?
Oh my gosh, I'm just like so happy for you. First off, congratulations. You did, there was press that came out, I think like last Wednesday, that you did the WWE tryout at the Performance Center. And I know you can't give too much details, but how was it?
Yes, it was awesome. It was, it brought me a little bit back to Tough Enough because, boy, they definitely want to push you to your limit. And it was a great experience, too, because I also, like, it was a really good experience in the sense that, like, it's all about teamwork, too. Like, It's not just, like, in-ring stuff, too. Like, I really liked and enjoyed how they really focused on, like, wanting to see people have, like, a good attitude as well, like, as a team player with other people. That was pretty cool to experience. And particularly the group that we had was a very, very elite stacked particular group, and the fact that even with that, you know, the whole competition thing was there for sure, but not to the point where it would like feel uncomfortable or anything like that. On the very opposite, we were all very supportive of each other throughout the whole like experience. Very intense.
So like locker room etiquette, they were actually looking for that or looking at that. Yeah. Straight out the gate, we have a question from Joseph Bosa in our live chat. He's like the GM for AfterBuzz Wrestling. So he's like, what led you to the tryout? So I guess how did that, we'll talk a little bit more about the Lucha thing after this, but how did the tryout come? Did they call you or what happened with it? How did that come about?
Well, definitely for everybody, it's a completely different experience. For me, for quite some time now, I've been wanting to cut my my Lucha Underground thing short for quite some time now. For about 2.5 years now, I've been kind of letting them know that I'm not entirely happy, that I want to, you know, cut it short and stuff like that. But they always wanted to find ways to kind of convince me, well, we have this coming up, and, you know, convince me to stay. And I'm like, you know what, okay, you know, cool. But throughout all that too, I also broke my ankle as well, so that didn't help matters at all either. Right. So after coming back those 2 times, I just tried to give it my all and get with whatever I had left with Lucha Underground. And once
that was over.
Once the season 4,
Once that was over, did they call you or?
Oh yeah, like once season 4 was coming to an end and like the airing and everything, I went ahead and contacted them and in hopes to see if there was still interest or anything like that, and was, and so I said, okay, even better. So then came about where they changed their mind. Once they said they would let me go, Lucha Underground, and then that's when the whole fiasco got even more complicated, and I'm sure it was read everywhere. Yeah. And it's kind of hard to talk about because it still blows my mind because I never in my life would have ever imagined to be in a situation like that in a million years, much less with Lucha Underground. That it started off so promising because we were like, started off with great energy and everyone's super communicative and trusting and everything, and it's just really unfortunate that it just happened that way. But regardless, it finally resolved, and like I jumped on it right away. to try to, you know, I feel like to come back home. Like that's kind of how it feels to me and kind of how it felt when I stepped into the Performance Center. It really felt like I was coming back home. So
now,
I hope I can get to come home and stay home.
Now, were there people there that you knew from when you were there last time that were still there as far as like trainers or, you know,
Yes.
individuals?
Yes, and that also that also added more to the home feel, and I was just so happy to be there and just there after everything that had happened and the cumulative things throughout like the last 3 years, and it felt like I'm finally where I need to be.
Right.
And looking forward.
I mean, like you had a good run at Lucha Underground. So let's kind of get into that. So according to Pro Wrestling Sheets, they said, like from documents from Lucha Underground, they said most wrestlers under a Lucha Underground contract make less than $4,000 a year. So was that one of the reasons why you wanted to leave, or what kind of was like, okay, this company's not for me?
Definitely, I really enjoyed all the work that I did, you know, with Lucha Underground. It was a very big merge from a completely different world to another completely different world of pro wrestling. And even though it's entertainment, it's still two completely different, utterly different systems. Mm-hmm. And like the number one is them trying to have a hold over the talent as if they were a wrestling company, because they're not a wrestling company.
Okay.
They're a wrestling TV show. So to expect that type of exclusivity from a professional wrestler is just, right word, just unrealistic. Mm-hmm. Completely and utterly unrealistic. And it's just, that was really, really the number one problem since the very beginning. And we all, you know, did what we could from each side, from us, from the wrestlers, and from their part. We all tried numerous different things to try to fix that. But it really wasn't about money. It was more about, that would be the number one. Again, like, you know, too much of a dark time in between, and, you know, the places that they were doing partnerships like TNA or stuff like that, like the politics side, at least weren't helping me personally. It helped for other people, but at least me and my situation personally was not working for me. And I had no other option. So I was just completely like stuck, and just being in the dark that long, and not, you know, it just, and also having broken my ankle, like me personally, my situation, like it just didn't help at all for me at all. And it just all added up. And another thing too that also played a part was I just wasn't 100% on the same page of what I wanted out of my work within Lucha Underground with the writers. Mm-hmm. You know, not knocking on their, you know, work, what they did, you know, with others or anything like that, or with the show. Just like me personally, for my work, we weren't entirely 100% always on the same page, but regardless, we did what we could to kind of, you know, find a happy medium. But more so than anything, it was just down to that. Just like, there was just no way to make up for that, like those long, dark times without knowing. And that's right. Just like, it's not a wrestling company, it's a TV show. Yeah,
because each season would range anywhere from 22 to 44 episodes. So like, and you didn't really know until that started. Now, another thing that people made note of as far as in social media, we saw the merge between Lucha Underground and Impact, and people crossing over, i.e. Taya Valkyrie, etc. Now, there was apparently, so you had made, when you kind of got to kind of frustration, you put it out on social media, and somebody said is because you said something to Tessa Blanchard about because of her family name. So could you like clear?
Never in my life.
Yeah, well, according to Tessa Blanchard,
so many things on Twitter sorry, it's just, oh my God, even still, like even like with the tryout, all the things that have popped up, like it blows my mind. I go like, oh my God, how in the world do people make these things up?
Yeah, I think it's from I don't want to misquote them, but somebody responded to your tweet and saying because you talked S about Tessa Blanchard, and Tessa Blanchard went in on the tweet and also said she's confirming that you pretty much said she got there because of her family and you got to where you got because, you know, streets raised you. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what world she's living in either because that never came out of my mouth. That's crazy.
So I guess that's why people think that. I guess that's why people think that's why we didn't see you on Impact.
But I'm not surprised because, again, I'm not surprised. There's a lot of other things that people have told me that she has said that all these things, you know, it's just wrestling. I hate that. I hate that drama. I hate that, all that stuff. When people start making up stuff and making up stories and all this stuff, it drives me crazy. And I feel like because I try so hard to stay away from it, it gives people like leeway to like make up even more stuff. Right. Because I try to stay in my own lane and try to like, you know, stay focused on, and like I just hate all that stuff. But that's crazy. Even with all the things that she's made up and said, I'd wish no ill on her. I know not. Just keep my name out of your mouth. That's it.
Okay, so let's just clarify. So Casey Michael, the owner of Squared Circle Sirens, she had tweeted because you had said something bad about Tessa Blanchard. Now you're saying that you didn't say anything. Now, did you possibly say something as far as like a promo? Did you ever have together, or like where would Tessa have gotten? Because she confirmed it via Twitter.
Well, this is the thing though. Like I've heard. See, and this is another reason why I just completely ignore it, because how old is she again? She was like 19 when I met her. And this happens a lot of times with younger wrestlers. Like I've heard a million different things that she said, that she's done, blah blah blah, but I'm not gonna get into that or believe any of these things until I have her face to face, and whatever interaction we have, then I'm gonna go based on whatever interaction we have, like any other person or any place on the planet. If you're trying to be professional, like there's a million things that I've heard, but I can't go and base off and do things or drag her name down the mud until that, you know, especially online, and say things, that he said, she said, and then try to confirm it online when I haven't even heard it from her directly or anything like that. That's just too ignorant of behavior that I just, again, I'd rather just steer clear from that. Okay. But it sucks.
Okay. So, because I when I read it, it just sounded, for me, and of course, like I don't like know you, but based off your character, it just seems like.
And it's kind of, honestly, and it's kind of sad because I actually like after like our last like match or our last any interaction at all, like actual real, not like delusion, like made up or he said she said. Right. Like after that interaction, like I was actually putting her over from the match and everything like that, like the whole time, and then all these other things that I hear from other people that she was saying was like all negative and confirming from other people. I was like, oh my god, like I don't even want to deal with that, like but it just sucks. It just sucks, period, because I just hate that. I hate that, but it is what it is. It exists in the wrestling world. But
yeah, because here's my thing, or because it seems like there was definitely a misunderstanding, or somebody's been telling her something that you said that you didn't say. And because she is doing so well currently, she might be saying things that are blocking stuff that could have happened for you as well. So
yeah, but that's a reflection of her character. That's her. You know what I'm saying? Like all I can focus on me. Like I don't know what else I could possibly do aside than to just keep doing my thing and knowing the truth and continuing to do my work. I mean, I can't entertain unprofessional behavior like that because, again, like I've said a million times, like I could hear a million things. Oh, he said, she said, she said. But you don't go off and start going online and, you know, dragging a person down the mud based on something. That's high school stuff. Right. Like I don't, and again, it's a reflection of her own character. So again, whatever she does, that's her responsibility. I focus on me being professional. That's really all I can.
Okay. All right.
Focus on.
All right, I got you. So, what? So, do you? Okay, last question with like Lucha Underground and Impact. Now, the whole crossover, because they did have almost like a Lucha Impact thing, a couple of pay-per-views ago, where it was like you had a lot of folks from Lucha that kind of came over to Impact. Do you know why? Because I think you had said online that your flight was booked and then it was like canceled last minute. Do you know why? Did they eventually tell you the real reason why that happened? Like you weren't on Impact?
Impact themselves, no. I heard, again, this is wrestling. I heard from other people, highly likely possibilities of what could have happened. Not gonna get it, can't get into detail about it. Again, I don't know. That's just me. Some people choose to try to block other people from opportunities. I'm the type that does the exact opposite. And again, like you said, it may hurt me, this and that. Thunder, like, strike me right now. On my life, my entire 15 years career, that's always what I've done, and that's so ironic. And whoever hears me is just like, that's so ironic, because everywhere I go, regardless whether I personally don't like this person or not or whatever, I care so much about my passion for my work that I don't care. Like, that goes to the side, and I try to do my job, whatever it is at that time. If I'm supposed to put somebody over, or if I'm supposed to have a match with somebody, and especially with, like, giving people opportunities. If I see that they really want it and they care for it, why would I want to block it? Like, right. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. So I always go out of my way to help other people, and then that type of stuff usually always happens to me. I'm already used to it. Like, it's no surprise to me. But I just try really hard to not allow that to make me bitter, to, like, get to the point where I become that and start, like, trying to, block other people from stuff. So
okay, all right, just clarifying, because it didn't sound like your character when I read it, and I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. You seem like you'll just rather just have a conversation if it's uncomfortable. It is what it is, but at least everything's kind of clear. So, hopefully that will all kind of, because both of you, Tessa and yourself, are really great wrestlers. So it's just one of those things that I hope, even if it's not on a personal level, professionally, it all gets squared away, because both of you guys have a long time in this wrestling career. So, I wish the best for both folks. But let's get into it. So now you're finally, it's almost like a bad ex-boyfriend. So Lucha Underground is done. Is the lawsuit, it was, because I think there was a lawsuit that was filed, correct? Or was it just more of just putting it out there and you just want to get out of your contract?
I would have really preferred that it hadn't gotten out, but it did. So I can confirm to you that, yes, it became a class something lawsuit. Yeah. A lawsuit.
Now, is that done? Like,
yes, that is over with.
Okay. So
thank God.
So completely done with Lucha Underground. What's next? So we had the WWE tryout, and we'll wait to hear the good news later. I'm not saying there is good news, but usually the show has magical powers, so I'm putting it out there. But what's next now with the baggage gone?
I feel like with the WWE trial, it's definitely a step into the right direction and the direction I wanted, which makes me really happy, especially to kick off this year after these 3 years that have really tested my soul. I feel like I have no words to describe how happy I feel, how this year is starting off. And I what's next right now, honestly, I'm not trying to, like, book myself crazy and get all crazy. I honestly really want to take this time to really organize myself for at least this, like, next month, to, like, really organize myself and be ready for
the future,
whatever good amount of work that will come from the tryout, whether it be with WWE or whatever that may be. I want to be 100% ready, like, mentally, physically, in every way, shape, or form, like, personal space-wise, because I just moved and kind of a little crazy and hectic trying to, like, organize myself. But I want to be able to take on this year, like, as my, the best version of myself that I possibly can in every aspect. So with that said, I'm not like trying to go crazy, at least for this first month. And then I'll just try to go all out and gain as much momentum as I possibly can that I lost throughout these like last couple of years, and try to be myself.
Now,
Try to be myself completely.
as far as matches wise, who do you want to, like, who are you really looking forward to either, like, to have a match with that you either haven't had a match with before or you have had a match with before? It's like, who are you excited about?
Like I said, I usually love wrestling whoever is in front of me. Like every match is a complete and utter puzzle to me, and I love the creative process of figuring out how two characters can unravel within a squared circle. Lately, most of like the people that I want to work have kind of been stolen. Let's say not stolen, but like taken towards WWE already. And now that I feel like that WWE is expanding, like with the UK and things like that, I feel like it's leaving a lot of space for a lot of new talent that I haven't really been able to really get a feel for. I've only really been able to get a feel for it in like the few like indies, like some new faces in Shine, and like faces in like the Ladies Night Out, like with ROW. And stuff like that. Like I feel like now I'm starting to see like new faces. Otherwise, the people I'd like to wrestle are now like in WWE. So, like I still would like to wrestle Asuka. I feel like me and her would have an insane match because we mirror each other. Like I feel like we'd mirror each other a lot. Kyrie. Like there's a lot in WWE that I would like to wrestle in the indies, like from the new girls. I've seen a few like girls with a lot of potential, like let me see, from ROW, Miranda. She has red hair as well. There's another one, Aqua or something like that, or Aqua. I'm not sure. From ROW.
Okay.
High-end as well, I see has a lot of potential. From Shine, I still haven't wrestled Priscilla, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
We somehow keep missing each other. See if there's any other like new. Aja Pereira.
Oh yeah, okay. I've heard a lot of people talk about her.
Definitely.
So
would like to wrestle her.
Here's another question from Kyle Franklin. If you were to go back to WWE or NXT, would you go by the name Sophia Cortez, or would you go by Ivelisse? If you had a choice.
I would pray that I could use Sicaria. And if not, then I'm totally fine using my real name, Ivelisse, or maybe trying to figure something else out. But I'd be okay using Ivelisse if I were to be allowed to, but best case scenario would be if I could use Sicaria.
Now, where's Sicaria from?
Sicaria it pretty much translates, it's a word used for like a sadistic, like a sadistic hitman.
Oh, okay.
In Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
And since my character is like a heel, it just pretty much translates like who she embodies.
Okay. So another question from Super Friday. He asked if Lucha Libre FMV LLC, do they own the name Ivelisse?
No.
Yeah, because it's your name. So I guess because I think oh my gosh, there's a couple wrestlers who actually changed their name to their wrestling name legally, so then they own that name. Like there's like a loophole, but I think if it's your name, you're born with it, they can't legally own your name, as far as I know. So, but yeah, no, she said no. You guys, just FYI. So now, thank you, Super Friday. You did the translation for me. So now, as far as you're gonna take a little bit of a break. What's your what are you doing to prepare for everything? Are you training? Are you just taking a breather? Or what's the current MO for May?
In the beginning, like right as the year kicked off, I was training really hard. But this like past month, like just dealing with that quick reality of like, yes, I'm finally gone, and then the move, and then the tryout, like right after all in one. So like the month kind of fell off. I kind of fell off behind on that, but I definitely want to use this month to get right back onto training as hard as possible, going as hard as possible with my training, with everything, absolutely everything, going all in.
Okay. And now let's get into something called rapid hot tags. I'm gonna hit you with.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna hit you with some questions. You're gonna let me know whether you.
I don't do very well with these.
You'll do
My
fine.
brain fries like as it's going.
You'll do fine. If you can listen to one album, what album would it be for the rest of your life?
Ooh. Oh man. I don't know. I can't say. I just listen to random like songs from different people. Pandora.
Yo.
Man, I can't say an album.
Or how about
Let's just say Cardi B. Let's just say Cardi B.
Cardi B?
The first
Okay.
thing that pops up in my mind.
Which one do you prefer, weekends or weekdays?
Depends for what, but let's say weekends. Yeah.
Depends for what. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower, flight. Always.
Costume parties or pool parties?
Pool.
Cubed ice or crushed ice?
Crush.
Late owl or early riser?
Ooh, late owl. Always.
Pictionary or charades?
I can't really 100% tell which one is which, but let's say Pictionary.
If you could play... What's the one thing you love about yourself?
We don't play that in Puerto Rico, so
You know what? Here's the gag. I don't play it either. I just saw like another thing. I saw another person, like another kind of show do that. I was like, oh, that's a good question. I don't know. So yeah, we don't. I think charades is the one where you act it out, and I think Pictionary is where you draw it out. I think that's the difference. But
can I switch my answer then?
yeah.
Charades.
Super Friday has a good one. Pizza or tacos?
Oh, pizza.
Pizza. I don't know. I had some vegan tacos today. It's kind of hard. Okay. Anyways, that's.
I know. That's why it's like.
Yeah.
Okay. Pizza.
Who would play you in a movie?
Ooh, I would have to say either Michelle Rodriguez or Angelina Jolie.
Oh, that's a good one. Last show you binge watched?
Last show I binge watched. Well, I kind of always binge watch Friends, but
I'm still trying to get through that show. Ugh, it's taking forever.
I kind of honestly I've like the day before I started watching this one called You versus Wild, which is kind of interactive as well. That was pretty cool.
All right.
I would say that one.
And now, have you been watching WWE at all? Like, do you have time to kind of keep up with Becky Two Belts?
Ever since I came back from the tryout, I have not. I actually have been going crazy trying to catch up on like the move and stuff like that, and like actually trying to get a new phone. And I actually had a small accident right before getting home from the tryout, and like all these other things.
Oh no, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank God.
Thank goodness. Yeah, we don't need
many things. It's crazy.
It's
insane.
We don't need any accidents. Okay, so where can people find you if they're not following you at the moment?
Where can people follow me? Where I am most active is Instagram and Twitter. And on Instagram, you can my handle is @Ivelisse, and my Twitter handle is @RealIvelisse.
And any upcoming matches?
Upcoming matches. Actually, this weekend I will be in Texas, San Antonio, and Houston at Texas Wrestling Academy. And in Houston, I believe the same, Texas Wrestling Academy. And the weekend after that, I'll be in Shine in Detroit.
Okay. And Star Drew has a good question. Boys or men? Which do you prefer?
Again, depends what I suppose, but men.
And Jeff in the booth, our engineer, he posed the question too: NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Oh, I don't know, neither.
I had a feeling that was gonna. So our question for today is our poll question, which is gonna be on social media, is gonna who do you have for Money in the Bank, Becky Lynch or Lacey Evans? Other than that, Ivelisse, I really appreciate it. I am so I get goosebumps happy for you. I'm just excited. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I have a feeling good things are gonna happen this year, especially of the WWE variety. But yeah, I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super happy how this year has started, and I look forward to be able to give everyone the best version of me possible in that ring.
All right. We will definitely see you in that ring. Other than that, make sure you guys are following us at WPW Weekly on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure on AfterBuzz, if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure to give us 5 stars or better. Definitely, if you're listening on Spotify and other platforms, definitely comment. You can hit me up at TK Trinidad or hit my co-host up, Evan T. Mack, on Twitter and Instagram as well. Other than that, I thank you so much for watching the show. Without you guys, there wouldn't be this show. We are the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Until next week, guys. Ciao.
From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling, we ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.